What's up, guys? Doors Coding School podcast. So today we're gonna talk college, bootcamp, self-taught. I'd say I'm a specialist because I went through a college bootcamp, and I consider myself self-taught. So I think I can give my 2 cents on this topic, and I think it's very important to think about the different options available in the market because you wanna do well in the field, not spend too much money, not spend too much time, but still be good enough that you have a lot of opportunities in your life. So now we're gonna evaluate the 3 options. So first, let's take a look at college. Do I think college is worth it? I think college is not worth it at all. Is it valuable to go through college? I mean, is it positive that you take a computer science course? Yes, I mean, it is, because you will be learning a lot, you'll be meeting a lot of people, but I think it's extremely inefficient. I think of college as cable TV. Cable TV, you wanna watch just, let's say, I don't know, Game of Thrones, or a specific show in a specific channel, but you gotta buy a bundle of useless channels just so the company makes more money. Whereas on-demand platforms like Disney Plus or Netflix, you get what you are looking for. Or even so, you might want to be even more specific, because on Netflix you still get a lot of like bad movies. If you go to like YouTube and you buy the very specific channel that you want, movie that you want, that's even better, right? So you go straight to Game of Thrones. You don't like have to buy 100 channels. College is the cable TV. Are you still gonna watch Game of Thrones? For sure, but it's very inefficient. And you also need to think that it's not an institution that follows market logic. So the instructors really, to rise through the ranks of college, they need to do research. They don't really care about teaching. Or some do, but the incentive is not there for them to be great instructors. So you pay a lot of money for a like a diploma that takes a long time. You have to learn a lot of things that you never use, and to maybe get a job in the end, but it's not guaranteed. So I don't recommend college. I think I've went through college. I did computer science. I actually did an international relations degree beforehand. So I wasted a lot of time with college. So I wouldn't recommend it at all. Like, even if you're 17, there are many better options. So the second one I'm gonna talk about is bootcamps. Bootcamps are great. I took a bootcamp. Halfway through my computer science course, I realized that I was being not scammed. I think scam is a strong word, but I was getting a very poor education. Although I was going to a top rank university in the world, it wasn't good. So I took a coding bootcamp during the summer, and it was amazing. So I took a coding bootcamp for 3 months, and basically I study all day long practical coding things that I never learned at school. So I mean, it's really good. For me, it's the most efficient in terms of time. So you do it in 3 months. You do it full time. You get some instruction, which is really important, because when you're doing it by yourself, you're gonna lose motivation. You're gonna study things that are useless. So the fact you're immersed and you do that all day long, I think is super time efficient. The problem with bootcamp is a lot of people can't drop their families and their jobs and everything to do it full time. And also you have to pay a lot of upfront money. So I don't think that's a great option if you are transitioning to careers while you're working. If you have the time and you can drop everything in your life, I think bootcamp is the best option. But if you can't, I'll tell you in the end of the podcast what I think is the best option. So the third option is self-taught. Now, I used to think this was the best one because it's free, and today there is a lot of free resources and you can go at your own pace. So another problem with bootcamps is that you fall behind. If people are better than you or you're better than other people, you're always like at a different pace than everybody else. So you might fall behind, or you might graduate without a good foundation because they need to teach everyone at the same time. So self-taught, you go at your own pace. But today, I think self-taught is actually, now that I'm doing this podcast, I'd say it's worse than bootcamp, but better than college. But I think being self-taught is the worst of the three. Purely self-taught. Why? Because you don't know anything. You don't know what you don't know. You have no one who knows more than you guiding you when you're self-taught. So you might think you're good, but you're not. Like, you might think you're at a good level, but you're not. You have no rule to measure how much you know. And it's really easy to get stuck into something and not make progress, and then you give up. It's really easy to study easy things and not move on at the right pace to harder topics. It's really easy to like jump from one language to the other. So I think although it's free, and I'm starting to think now as I get older, I'm starting to realize that everything that is free, even being self-taught, is usually not the most efficient way, because you think you're saving up money and time, but you're really wasting money by being super inefficient with your learning. Now the last option, which is basically what I wish I had when I was learning how to code. I think you can use online resources that are free with the help of someone at your own pace. So that's what I try to do here at Doors Coding School. We basically give you one-on-one tutoring, so that way we go at your own pace. We use online resources, so you have a lot of like free resources to look at. So that would be a mix of self-taught and bootcamp, because we're giving you a lot of online resources, but you have the guidance of someone who can help you out, who can like guide you when you get stuck, and which is flexible. You don't have to drop your whole life to take a bootcamp. You can do on evenings when you're done with work, or on weekends when you have more free time. So I felt there was a gap in the market for basically teaching like professionals, and that's what I created with Doors Coding School. So if you're interested, you can basically check the description below, and you have all the data information regarding how our tutoring works. And I think there's nothing like that in the market right now, because basically it's flexible. I think the big advantage is the flexibility, the personalization. You actually only move on when you know your stuff. So take a look at that, and if you have any questions, you can comment here or send me an email. And that's it. So in summary, if you have money and you can drop your whole life, I recommend a bootcamp. I think it's a no-brainer. If you have a full-time job, or you want to learn programming, dip your toes into the water, kind of see if that's for you, but you still want to get some supervision, I recommend getting a tutor, which we provide at Doors Coding School. I think it's the best option for professionals. So that in college, don't do it, and don't put your children in college. I think so. It's my personal opinion. I might be wrong. Give me your 2 cents here in the comments. Self-taught, I think, is the worst of all. So that's basically it. So hope to see you guys in the next podcast of Doors Coding School.